I grew up in North Dakota. I'm an American originally. Um, North and South Dakota produce about 40% of the honey that's produced in the U.S. So I just took a job keeping bees there and liked it. And then I got a job as a assistant bee inspector for the state of North Dakota. And then I ran into two brothers who were third generation beekeepers who operated 9,000 hives in North Dakota. They produced 1 million pounds of honey every summer. They had bought a medium-sized bee business in northern Saskatchewan, and one thing and another, and they got me up there to run it, and I spent 40 years there. I'm the president of the Sunshine Coast Bee Club, and I'm also the rep, the Sunshine Coast rep to the BC Honey Producers Association. There's a lot of interest in people being hobby beekeepers. I think we're up over the 50 member mark now. As long as I've been here, we had weekly meetings during the summer. Of course, not now during COVID. So we've been doing Zoom Q&As kind of right here. I've been fielding questions and helping people out as best we can. And looking forward to getting back to the regular meetings.
On his property in Half Moon Bay, Steve has started raising his own queen bees to help his hives thrive.
The best thing about raising our own queen cells is that we get to select we select breeder queens that really do what we want, right? They winter well, they produce a lot of honey, they're gentle and quiet, and so it only makes sense that breeding from the best we have sort of is the right thing to do. Each sect of bees, the workers, the drones, and the queens, have their own cell that they're reared in, right? So we copy, when they raise queens for themselves, they make a wax cup. We make a plastic cup that mimics that, and we graft a tiny larva that was meant to be a worker. For her first 12 or 16 hours, she still is able to become a queen, and it depends on the feed that she gets. A lot of people have heard the term royal jelly. Every bee that is being raised gets royal jelly fed to it for a tiny little bit, but a queen gets royal jelly for her whole development, and that's the abracadabra difference. It's just a super concentrated bee food. So I can show you the queen cells with the royal jelly in them. This is an inside feeder, a frame feeder we call it. And this skinny little frame here has the queen cells on it. So there they are. So these are about 5 or 6 days old. They'll mature and hatch in about 4 more days. After a week, she'll go on her mating flight. Maybe 1, maybe 2, maybe 3 mating flights. She'll mate with 12 to 20 drones. The drones will die on the spot. Nobody says it has to be fair. The queen will take the sperm into a little vessel in her stomach called the spermatheca, maybe about 1 million sperm, and she'll lay eggs for perhaps 3 or more years. The worker bees live about 40 days. The queen can have a 3-year career, so it's quite a difference. You can see the royal jelly, that creamy looking stuff in the bottom of the cell. The queen has consumed most of it, but she still has some to eat.
One of his hives sits on a scale, allowing him to accurately measure the weight each day.
Well, it takes a lot of the guesswork having a hive on the scale. You don't have to wonder if they're gaining weight. You don't have to wonder if they're losing weight. I come out every morning and the scale tells me exactly what's going on. A good day here on the coast, this hive can gain 5 or 6 pounds. Back in Saskatchewan, when I did this commercially, I would see gains as high as 20 pounds in one day. So it really tells you, it really helps in the management of what you're doing next. So the 2 queen thing is just sort of fun. It's a lot of extra work, but we have a queen laying in this box, and she's confined here because of this queen excluder. The queen excluder is a very ethical tool because the worker bees can pass through and store honey above it, but the queen cannot fit through these openings, so she stays down here. The bees will fill their brood chamber with honey before they bring anything up above, so they get theirs first. So the 2 queen thing is just kind of fun. There's a queen in this box, as I said. This will be a honey box. This is a double screen contraption that keeps the 2 colonies separate, and there's another queen laying brood up here. That is a picture of progress. That comb in the top is a really good sign because it means that there's honey coming in. The young bees that are still in the hive that are not foraging yet, their wax glands are active, right? And when fresh nectar's coming in, they involuntarily produce wax. So when I see this burr comb up here, we call it, that's a really good sign. And this hive is, it's coming along nice. The bottom one is stronger than this. There's a drone bee. There's not many yet, but they're starting to come. He looks like he's new in town and just sort of figuring things out. But this entire frame is, the queen has laid eggs in here. I see larvae and eggs. This is a field bee that just came in with a load of pollen. As they fly, their body develops static electricity and the pollen just sticks to them. Pollen is their protein source. They can't live without it. They can't raise baby bees without it. So that's a really crucial thing. These are drone bees here in development. The brown ones are a little bit bigger. They tend to put them on the fringes of the brood because they're less important. Yeah, little capped honey here. As soon as I do that, they'll fix it. This is a newer frame with plastic foundation. We used to use wax, but that's a thing of the past. So the shape of their cell is embedded in this wax, and they simply, that just acts as a guide, and they add their own beeswax, draw it out as we say, and store honey in it, make babies in it. It takes them a tremendous amount of wax to draw those cells all out, that's for sure. This side they haven't got to yet.
If you're interested in becoming a backyard beekeeper, You can visit the Sunshine Coast Beekeepers Association's Facebook page for more information.